Amma was a bright and beautiful student at one of the best universities in Nigeria. Every morning she walked into her classroom with dignity and grace. Although she looked calm and peaceful from the outside, inside, Amma carried deep pain. Her pain came from the hurtful words of her classmates, who came from rich and powerful families. To them, Amma was just a poor girl, nothing more than the daughter of a cleaner. Amma's adoptive mother, Mama Ruth, cleaned toilets and classrooms at the same university where Amma studied. Every day, wealthy students pointed fingers at Amma and laughed. "Oh, look, everyone," said one girl loudly, pointing at Amma. "Here comes Amma, the cleaner's daughter." Other students laughed cruelly, adding more insults. "Why do you even study here?" a boy asked rudely. "You belong with your mother, cleaning toilets, not sitting with us." Each time this happened, Amma's heart broke a little more. But she never shouted back or argued with them. Instead, she silently endured their bullying because she deeply respected her mother, Mama Ruth. Mama Ruth was a kind-hearted, gentle woman, 45 years old. Her hands were rough from many years of cleaning, and her back often hurt from bending and scrubbing floors all day. But Mama Ruth never complained. Her only dream was to see Amma graduate from university and have a better life than she had. One evening, Amma returned home and saw Mama Ruth sitting quietly in a corner of their small room. She was tired, her face heavy with sadness. Amma sat next to her mother and gently touched her hand. "Mama, what's wrong?" Amma asked softly. Mama Ruth forced a small smile and shook her head. "It's nothing, Amma. I'm just tired today," she replied. But Amma knew it was more than just tiredness. She could see tears forming in Mama Ruth's eyes. Amma held her mother's hand tighter and spoke gently, her voice full of warmth. "Mama, please tell me, did something happen at work?" she asked again. Mama Ruth looked away, hiding her tears. She finally whispered, almost ashamed, "Today some students saw me cleaning and laughed at me. They said terrible things. They called me dirty and poor. They said you must feel ashamed of having a mother who cleans toilets." Amma felt sharp pain in her heart hearing this. Tears welled up in her own eyes, but she refused to cry. She hugged her mother tightly, comforting her. "Mama, never feel ashamed. You are the most honorable and loving person I know." Amma said clearly, "You raised me with kindness, love, and dignity. I am proud of you." Mama Ruth began to cry softly, relieved by Amma's words. Amma gently wiped her mother's tears and promised her, "Mama, one day, we will not cry anymore. One day, people will understand that wealth does not define a person's value. I promise you, Mama, that day will come." Mama Ruth smiled, feeling stronger from Amma's words. They hugged again, comforting each other with the warmth of their love. That night, Amma lay awake in her small bed, looking up at the cracked ceiling. She dreamed of the day she would graduate and change their lives. She promised herself quietly, "I will never let people's cruelty change my heart. I will always remain humble and strong, just as Mama taught me." Amma fell asleep, holding tightly to her dreams and hopes. She did not know that very soon, everything in her life was about to change dramatically. The next afternoon was very hot. Amma sat quietly studying under a big tree on campus. Suddenly, she saw 2 young students running towards her, looking worried. "Amma, please come quickly," one of them shouted. "It's your mother, Mama Ruth. She's collapsed in the classroom." Amma's heart nearly stopped. She dropped her books and ran as fast as she could. She reached the classroom and saw Mama Ruth lying on the floor, her eyes closed, breathing weakly. "Mama!" Amma cried, rushing to her side. She gently lifted Mama Ruth's head onto her lap. "Mama, please wake up. Please don't leave me," she begged, her voice shaking. Mama Ruth opened her eyes slowly and smiled weakly at Amma. "My dear Amma, don't worry. I'm just feeling weak. I'll be fine." But Amma could clearly see that Mama Ruth was seriously ill. She shouted to other students, "Please help me carry my mother to the campus clinic." With their help, Mama Ruth was quickly carried to the small university clinic nearby. Amma sat beside her mother's bed, holding her hand tightly, quietly praying for her recovery. Just then, a tall, respected-looking man entered the clinic. It was Chief Adewale, the wealthy 55-year-old owner of the university. Chief Adewale rarely visited the campus clinic, but today he had come by chance to check on another matter. As soon as Chief Adewale saw Mama Ruth lying on the bed, he paused. His eyes then shifted to Amma, sitting beside her mother. His heart suddenly skipped a beat, and he froze in shock. Amma's face reminded him vividly of a woman he once deeply loved, years ago, when he was young and careless. His mind rushed back 25 years into the past. He remembered clearly the woman he once promised to marry, but later abandoned. He remembered vividly how she had begged him to stay when she found out she was pregnant. But Chief Adewale had refused, choosing his family's wealth and pride over his true love. He felt dizzy as he remembered the newborn baby girl he abandoned at the hospital, never looking back. He whispered to himself, shaking. Could it be? Is it possible this girl is mine? Chief Adewale's eyes filled with tears as the guilt of his past suddenly came flooding back. He quietly approached the nurse and spoke in a low voice. "I want you to immediately perform a DNA test between me and that young woman sitting beside the patient. But please, don't let her know yet." The nurse nodded respectfully and quietly approached Amma. "Amma, we need a small blood sample from you, just to be sure you're healthy." The nurse gently lied. Amma, thinking only of her mother's health, quickly agreed without question. Within minutes, the nurse collected Amma's blood sample and quietly returned to Chief Adewale. The next few hours passed very slowly. Amma stayed at Mama Ruth's side, gently holding her mother's hand, speaking comforting words. "You'll be well soon, Mama. Rest and don't worry. I'm here." Mama Ruth slowly fell asleep, comforted by Amma's love. Meanwhile, Chief Adewale anxiously waited in his large office. He paced nervously, his heart pounding. Finally, a knock came on his door. It was the nurse holding the DNA test results. Chief Adewale opened the paper quickly, his hands trembling. As he read the results, tears streamed down his cheeks. "Positive," he whispered, almost unable to speak. "Amma is my daughter." He sat down heavily, filled with deep regret. All these years, he had lived proudly, rich and powerful, while his own daughter suffered daily humiliation and poverty right before his eyes. Chief Adewale felt his heart break with shame. "I must fix this before it's too late," he promised himself quietly. "I must make this right for my daughter, Amma." Chief Adewale could barely sleep that night. His heart was heavy with guilt and sadness. Early the next morning, he quietly visited Mama Ruth at the clinic. She was awake, looking pale but smiling, gently as always. Mama Ruth was surprised to see the wealthy owner standing beside her bed. She politely greeted him. "Good morning, Chief Adewale. Please forgive me. I couldn't finish cleaning yesterday. I'll return to work soon, I promise." Chief Adewale gently raised his hand, shaking his head. "No, Mama Ruth. Please rest," he said softly. "Today I'm not here about cleaning. I came to speak about Amma." Mama Ruth suddenly became nervous, her eyes filled with worry. Has something happened to Amma? Is my daughter all right? She asked urgently. Chief Adderwale took a deep breath and slowly sat beside her bed. Mama Ruth, he began quietly, please tell me honestly, how did Amma come into your care? I must know. Mama Ruth's eyes widened in shock. She had always feared this moment might come, yet she could not lie. Chief, 25 years ago, I worked as a cleaner in a hospital. One night I heard a baby crying loudly. I found a tiny baby girl, abandoned in the corridor. No one wanted her. She was alone, unwanted, she explained softly, with tears forming in her eyes. Chief Adewale's heart twisted painfully hearing these words. He nodded silently, urging her to continue. Mama Ruth sighed deeply. I was very poor and unmarried, but I couldn't leave that baby. I decided to raise her myself. Amma has been my daughter ever since that night. She is the greatest joy of my life. Tears ran down Chief Adewale's cheeks. With a shaking voice, he confessed to Mama Ruth. I was the man who abandoned that baby girl, Mama Ruth. Amma, she's my daughter. Mama Ruth gasped in shock, covering her mouth. She looked deeply into Chief Adewale's eyes, seeing his sincere regret. How could you do that, Chief? She asked softly, her voice filled with pain. Chief Adewale lowered his head in shame. I was young, selfish, and afraid of losing my family's respect, he admitted painfully. But now, I have very little time left. I am very ill, Mama Ruth. Cancer is slowly taking my life. Before I die, I must correct my terrible mistake. Mama Ruth reached out and gently touched Chief Adewale's shaking hand. Chief, wealth or poverty never mattered to Amma. She only wants respect, love, and dignity. She deserves happiness after suffering so much humiliation because of our poverty. Chief Adewale nodded slowly, deeply moved by Mama Ruth's wisdom and kindness. You are the real hero here, Mama Ruth. You raised Amma to be humble, strong, and kind. Now please allow me to give you both what you deserve. That same day, Chief Adewale called his lawyers. With tears still fresh in his eyes, he wrote a new will, clearly stating that Amma was his only heir. He also insisted that Mama Ruth must be cared for generously. His lawyer was shocked and asked, Chief, are you certain? Your entire fortune and university given to Amma, a girl who grew up poor? Chief Adewale firmly answered, Yes, she is my daughter. It is the right thing to do. She deserves far more than just wealth. She deserves justice, honor, and dignity. After signing the will, Chief Adewale felt peace for the first time in many years. A few days later, Amma was attending class as usual. Suddenly, there was an unexpected announcement over the loudspeaker. Attention, all students. Amma, please report immediately to the main auditorium. The university owner, Chief Adewale, requests your presence. Amma's heart started beating fast. She felt confused and worried. She quickly walked towards the auditorium, wondering why Chief Adewale would call for her. Inside the auditorium, hundreds of students and teachers were already gathered. Everyone watched curiously as Amma entered quietly. Her eyes lowered nervously. On stage, Chief Adewale stood waiting patiently. When he saw Amma, he stepped forward, his eyes filling with emotion. He gently smiled and said clearly into the microphone, Amma, please come here to me. I have something important to tell you, and everyone else here. Amma slowly climbed the steps to the stage, trembling slightly as she faced Chief Adewale and the large crowd. The rich students who had once bullied her stared in disbelief. Chief Adewale took a deep breath, his voice shaking, with emotion as he spoke. My dear students, Today I must confess a truth I've kept hidden for too long. This is my daughter, Amma." A stunned silence filled the room. Chief Adewale continued, his voice heavy with regret. 25 years ago, I abandoned Amma at birth because of my pride. She was raised by Mama Ruth, a cleaner here at the university, enduring bullying and shame. Yet, despite this, Amma grew into a woman of dignity and strength. He turned to Amma, tears streaming down his face, and publicly begged her forgiveness. "Amma, my greatest mistake was abandoning you. Please forgive me." Amma stood frozen, tears in her eyes. Her life flashed before her, years of bullying, Mama Ruth's endless love, and the shame she'd silently endured. But her heart held no bitterness. She stepped forward, her voice trembling. "I forgive you, Father. We cannot change the past, but we can heal together now." The crowd erupted in applause, many moved by Amma's forgiveness. Students who had once tormented her felt deep shame and began apologizing. "We are truly sorry, Amma," one student said. "We were foolish. Please forgive us." Amma smiled and accepted their apologies warmly. From that day forward, Amma was no longer mocked. She was respected and admired by everyone, even those who had once insulted her. Despite the newfound attention, Amma remained humble. Every evening she returned home to Mama Ruth, sharing stories about her respect from others. Mama Ruth listened, proudly, her heart filled with joy for her daughter. "Amma," she said one evening, "remember who you are inside, no matter how people treat you." Amma nodded lovingly. "I will never forget, Mama. You taught me that true respect comes from kindness, not wealth or power." Weeks later, Amma's joy was overshadowed by news of Chief Adewale's worsening illness. She and Mama Ruth rushed to his side. When they arrived, Chief Adewale weakly whispered, "My daughter, forgiving me gave my heart peace." "Thank you." Amma squeezed his hand, her eyes filled with tears. "I wish we had more time together," she said softly. Chief Adewale smiled weakly. "I may not have much time left, but my heart is happy. You gave me forgiveness. Now promise me you'll use my wealth to help others like you." Amma's voice was firm. "I promise, Father." With a final sigh, Chief Adewale closed his eyes, passing away peacefully. The university community mourned his death deeply. Soon after, Amma and Mama Ruth were called to the lawyer's office, where they learned of Chief Adewale's will. Chief Adewale's fortune, including the university, belongs to his daughter, Amma. Mama Ruth will also be generously supported for life. Amma and Mama Ruth moved into Chief Adewale's luxurious mansion, far from the poverty they once knew. Amma's heart stayed humble. She used her wealth to improve the lives of the workers at the university, raising their salaries and creating scholarships for poor students. Amma also planned a special day to honor Mama Ruth. She invited everyone to the university's main hall, where she spoke proudly. "Today we remember two special people. My late father, who corrected his mistakes with love, and Mama Ruth, who raised me with dignity and love." Amma unveiled a statue of Mama Ruth at the university entrance, with the inscription, "Mama Ruth, Mother of Love, Humility, and Dignity." Mama Ruth, moved to tears, whispered, "You've made me proud beyond words." Amma smiled, knowing that true wealth is found in kindness, humility, and love. From that day, the statue stood as a reminder that true riches come from the heart, not from money. Amma's life transformed. She turned shame into honor, poverty into dignity, and sadness into joy. The story of the maid's daughter became legendary, teaching future generations that forgiveness and humility are the greatest treasures. My sweet besties, if this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment below. Real love and kindness always win. Remember that. See you in the next story.